You only call me on the weekends when you're out and about, only chasing highs. You need me. He brings me flowers on a Tuesday. He gives me good loving, something that I never thought existed. I know what I need, ain't gonna lie. I know what I want, speaking my mind now. A queen needs a king to be by her side.
Hello friends, welcome back to another Sunday's Hoarder series. If you're new here, my name is Cambriea and I do this Hoarder series every single Sunday where I go to somebody else's house and help them tackle their home and get it back in order. However, this week is a little bit different. I must say this is the most challenging home I have ever worked in. It is a very small 1920s apartment. So the spatials to move, organize and do all that was a lot more difficult. And definitely I've talked about the level of hoarders, that there are 5 levels of hoarders. And I have only ever worked with about a level 1, 2, and maybe even a 3. And I can guarantee this one was a 4. So I'm going to take you guys along and show you all that I got done in these 6 hours I had this day. And I really hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see me go back to this house, because I will be honest, this was definitely the most overwhelming project I have ever done. And if you guys enjoy it, I will definitely go back. But if you guys want to see a larger transformation and maybe me go back to people that are 1, 2, or 3s, let me know as well in the comments below. So at this point, I had actually left real quick to go to Walmart and buy some organization boxes. Normally I don't bring anything to the homes, but since I didn't have the space to organize, I decided after starting that I wanted to go and get these boxes. Now these are awesome. You can get them right at Walmart. They are about $18 for a set of 10 of them, but it just made it easier so that I could kind of organize stuff into these boxes right away, since I didn't have any surface space or flooring space that I could organize. So definitely recommend, if you're in a situation like this where there's nowhere to work, investing in some organization boxes. These are just, like I said, paper boxes. A lot of people use them for like filing, but I love using these to organize and have different spots to put this. Now, I mentioned this being less of a transformation. The reason I say that is because even with working a solid 6 hours and going through everything, usually you guys get this amazing transformation. And I'll be honest, I feel like I'm kind of failing you guys on the amazing transformation this week. I still hope you see the progress that was made, but definitely a lot different than what I have done in the past, where it's gone from a complete disaster to a fairly livable space. So if I go back, there's a good chance I might be recruiting my sisters to help that have already offered to come assist. I really want to help her out. This was a situation I was kind of sad when I walked in. I saw situations of that were going to affect her health as well as safety when you don't have anywhere to walk other than this tiny little pathway. And this was an older lady, as well as having an old furnace, one of those like Art Deco, people use them as more of decor nowadays, but it was a working furnace with stuff stacked in front of it. So for health reasons and safety reasons, I really, really wanted to get as much done and at least get, for a safety purposes for her, a lot of this done today. Today was just the family room, and there's definitely the whole house that needs to be tackled. But in this situation, this was all I was able to get done today, and hopefully with some assistance, I can bust out a lot more in the 6 hours I will have next week. Now, a lot of times when I'm talking with these homeowners, I like to figure out why they got to where they are. It helps to kind of change their way of thinking and hopefully help them move forward and get rid of things. So everyone I work with has different reasons. I have worked with people that it was purely just a overwhelming from having kids with disabilities or older couples that had health issues and things just got let go. And this situation was a little bit different, and it really made me think about my life with my kids and everything. She mentioned how her mother was a neat freak and really cared more about the house being clean than the family being happy. So when she moved out, she just got to a point where she didn't care. She didn't want to focus on having a clean home. She wanted to focus on other things. Now, I feel like a lot of times that is so important to figure out why people they are the way they are and help them through it. Everyone has their reasonings, and it may be different from others, but just because one situation may not affect you doesn't mean it won't affect someone else. So I love talking with these homeowners and getting to know them and really trying to I don't want to say rewire, but kind of rewire their way of thinking and let them know that, yes, extremes are bad. You don't want to be so clean that your kids don't feel loved. Like, my house is clean, but I don't worry if it gets messy sometimes. That's just life, and it's more important to spend time with my children and my husband than worrying about a perfect home all the time. Now, on the other hand, you also want to make sure your home is safe and healthy and taken care of, because completely neglecting it isn't good either. You're going to deal with health issues from infestations, mold growth, the dust, all of that can go on as well. So just remembering to have a healthy balance in your life is so, so important. And I want everyone to keep that in mind. Don't judge your neighbors because you don't know their story. Everyone I have worked with, I feel like if you would walk in and not talk to them, you would right away judge them. But the second you hear their stories, you get to understand and you get more of that compassionate heart for them that I think we all need to have for our fellow humans, period. Having that understanding that everyone is different and everyone has lived a different life. Now, you see me organizing stuff out. I was really just, after getting started, I quickly realized there was no way I was going to 100% complete this room. So what I wanted to do was organize stuff out, get rid of the obvious stuff that just needed to go, any food that has gone bad or garbage, just all the things that were obvious that needed to go, even items that she was like, yep, right away this can go, and organize everything else out. So I was doing miscellaneous and knickknacks, papers, and putting them into areas so that she could go through them at her own time during the week. Now, I did tell her, I'm like, make sure as you're going through these things that give yourself time limits so you don't overwhelm yourself of, I'm going to work on this for 30 minutes or I'm going to work on this for an hour. But if you're going to do that, be strict with yourself. Set a timer for 30 minutes, set a timer for an hour, and truly work on it for that time frame. A lot of people will get overwhelmed and just stop, or they get distracted and they'll start doing one thing and then doing another. And it's so important to stay on task, especially when you're working on a huge project like this, because worrying about, oh, well, I did this, but now I need to clean this and that, that's where you're going to burn yourself out and not get done what truly needs to get done. And make sure to go through everything. There were so many things she was like, oh, I think it's just paperwork in there. And then I'd go through it, and half of the bag or the box I could get rid of after going through it. And she never would have known if she would have just put it to the side. So yes, a lot of these things are going from one thing into another, but we know these are things that are a little bit different. And then before I left, I made sure to get everything neatly in an area so that if she had time, she could work on it. Otherwise, it was a little bit more manageable for when I came back. Well, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this before and after and this video. I know it was a lot different than previous videos, but I hope you see the progress. And for a lot of you, I hope it kind of gives you the realization that sometimes not everything can be done in one day, and that's okay. It's like the whole saying my mom used to say of, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And this totally showed that situation. It's one bite at a time. I am not a miracle worker, and no one expects you to. But every little step is still a step in the right direction, and you are doing so good. So keep on working, keep on going, because we will all eat that elephant one bite at a time. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.